Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate you and Ranking Member Crawford holding this important hearing. I am a big fan of Amtrak, a big fan of rail transportation. And we've heard today about intercity passenger rail service and how it will reduce the carbon footprint, which is so important right now, reduce congestion, which is returning to pre-pandemic levels, and create better job opportunities and access to affordable and equitable housing opportunities. For instance, weekend after this, I'm planning to go to Nashville to see the University of Memphis play Tennessee in basketball. It's a morning game. And it would be so wonderful if we had a train from Memphis to Nashville that I could ride rather than having to rent a car, go on the I-40, Dodge, and be dodged by large trailer trucks, cabs and all that stuff, and hopefully make it alive. It'd be much better with a train. That would be wonderful. So the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act has for the first time dedicated reliable federal support for states and entities seeking to improve and expand this intercity passenger rail service. I love Amtrak. I go to Washington to New York and Washington to Baltimore and all those, but it'd be nice to get it more in the country, deeper into the country, and where there are people that would use rail if possible, like Memphis to Nashville, which this will be a repeated theme through my remarks. Many metro areas have little or no access to passenger rail service. Memphis is the only major city served in our state, and it goes to Chicago and to New Orleans, and that's been there for years. The city of New Orleans, the former Panama Limited trains, and we have a lot of people that go to Chicago and go to New Orleans on the train, but nobody goes from Memphis to Nashville, which would be important and good. I introduced the Interstate Rail Compacts Advancement Act, which would create multi-state regional passenger commissions, such as the successful Southern Rail Commission to promote regional coordination and sustain a passenger rail service across America. It was included in the bipartisan infrastructure bill, so it's law, and it establishes a competitive grant program to provide financial assistance. We want to incentivize states to create these multi-state rail commissions, which would help regional collaboration to get passenger rail service and provide these essential connections to jobs. Ford just announced a $5.6 billion investment at the Memphis Regional Mega Site, which is about 60 miles out of Memphis in West Tennessee, called Blue Oval City. They're going to build electric vehicles and battery manufacturing plant there. It's the largest investment ever in Tennessee, and create 5,800 jobs. And expanded passenger rail service between Memphis and Nashville could take residents to and from Blue Oval City to have those jobs and make it easier for them to get those high-paid, desirable jobs. Mr. Knox Ross, Mississippi Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Ross. As the chairman of the oldest rail commission in the country, can you speak quickly, because my time is limited, to how the creation of these multi-state passenger rail commissions could be helpful in expanding service in Tennessee?
Yes, sir. We can talk specifically about Memphis to Nashville.
Good.
The three-state compact, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. We work on projects both among our three states and within our three states. One of the example we've mentioned is Baton Rouge to New Orleans, wholly within Louisiana. And we all wholeheartedly support that and work on that. The same thing would be if the state of Tennessee joined the Southern Rail Commission, then we could begin working with the host railroad, working with Amtrak to look and see what the possibilities are, what the capacity constraints are, what the potential ridership would be between Nashville and Memphis. And on the surface, that sounds like a great service and one we should definitely look at. But the SRC allows us to do that.
That's a great idea for Tennessee to join with the Southern group and just add to it rather than trying to create their own.
That's right.
The governor would need to initiate that, I presume?
Yes, sir. The governor, the legislatures of Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana would have to vote to invite the state of Tennessee. Then the legislature of the state of Tennessee would have to vote to join.
Well, I guess that could happen.
I think it can happen. It's been pretty simple. But I think the main thing about that type of project is that having something like the Southern Rail Commission, it works across administrations. We've been working on our Gulf.
Let me switch real quick, Mr. Ross. I appreciate it, but my time's about out. I got 30 seconds. Mr. Gardner, in Amtrak's 2035 plan, they had several routes, including Nashville to Chattanooga to Atlanta, but they don't have Memphis to Nashville in there. Why was Memphis to Nashville route, was it considered, and if so, why wasn't it included?
Thank you, Congressman. Our proposal here is really illustrative of the type of service that we think can make sense. Having worked as a young staffer for the House member from Nashville, I know for sure that route between Nashville and Memphis could be very important. We think the Nashville, Chattanooga, Atlanta route is the sort of first one out of the gate because of some of the opportunities there, but we are willing to talk to your office further. Of course, the FRA is going to make the decisions about the corridor development plan, but we're very bullish on opportunities for Tennessee, both to the north from Nashville, to the west, and to the south and east.
Well, thank you very much, but I would like to concentrate on what you've already got, which is Memphis, a great route. If the people from Nashville could go to Memphis, they could then go to New Orleans. Everybody wants to go to New Orleans, and next everybody wants to go to Memphis. Atlanta, nah.
Thank you. Gentleman's time has expired.